special guest.
Hey.
Sherry Daniels.
Hey, this is Cherie Danielle, not Sherry Daniels. Cherie Danielle again with my latest video. The word nigger means dead. Let's get it in.
Just waiting for her to get on. She's gonna explain what the word nigger means dead. Means bad. Break it down. Okay, here she go right here. Put add now. Shalom.
Shalom.
Sis, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay, yeah. I was just telling the people about to get on this subject. We wanted to talk about the word nigger and how it means that it's dead. So, introduce yourself a little bit. Let the people know who you are before we start.
Okay, so my name is Cherie Danielle. Some probably have seen me on Facebook. We share a lot of the same friends. And I've known that I was a Hebrew Israelite since about 1994.
Okay. So, let's get to the word nigger. You were saying that it means dead. Can you give them a little information on what you mean by that?
Okay, so the word nigger definitely means dead. It comes from the Greek necro, which means dead. So what happened was when the Greeks began to invade Kemet, they saw the ancient Kemites doing a practice of libation and setting up altars, right, for the dead, for the ancestors. And libation, what we do now, pouring out a little liquor, right, as we call it, pour out a little liquor for the dead homies. That's nothing new. So they was doing that in Kemet. So when the Greeks saw that, they said their word in Greek for dead was necro. So then the people of our complexion of melanin became associated with the word necro, which means dead. And as you come down the languages from Greek to Latin to Spanish to English, now necro becomes negro or nigger and even nigger. And we try to change it and say, oh, it's our word, we can take it back from them. But let's look at its inception, where it comes from. It means dead. So when we call each other nigger, we're calling each other dead. And we're acting like we're dead.
I can agree with, well, the questions I'm going to ask you is not going to be really for me. It's going to be what I would think certain people would ask as far as like comedics and stuff like that, because, let's go to the comedic. They would say that nigga comes from the word meaning king in a certain language in Africa. What do you think about that?
I mean, I'm familiar with that argument about the Niger River, Nigger, Nagast, all of that. I get that. That may be legitimate to a degree, but still in all, we know that still was the Greek word for dead is necro. Necrophilia means someone who has sex with the dead. Necromancer, someone who worships the dead. Is still derived from the word necro. And what's the connotation with the word now? Right? So we're not talking about the Nigger kings, right? What is the connotation? Connotation meaning like slang. Denotation is the direct definition of a word. Connotation is what is most associated with. What is the connotation of the word nigger? It's not good. And our ancestors heard that word as their breast was being ripped off by dogs, as their flesh was being separated from their bone, right, with a whip. Was they had on a yoke of iron, nigger. So why are we calling ourselves that now? No other people do that. Hispanics don't call themselves Spits. Jews, European Jews don't call themselves kites. Chinese don't call themselves chinks. But we call ourselves niggas.
Okay. So do you have any kind of like the origin of it to where why did they start doing it? Like why did they like what made them pick that word for us?
Well, again, like I was saying to you, that's what, okay, in the Bible, what does it say? It says that you can't tell the Hebrews apart from Ethiopians. You can't tell us apart from Kemet, right? Because we're all the same complexion. And so who is the mother of the Europeans that took us as slaves? The mother of them is Rome. And who is Rome's mother? Greece. Because Greece and Greek turns into Latin, it turns into Rome, and that turns into Spain. So who brings us into captivity? Portugal and Spain. So the word was already in existence and associated with all melanated people. It may not have had, it didn't have the connotation then that it does today to a degree. And what I mean by that is it always meant dead, but now we have this white supremacy aspect attached to it from being slaves over here in the Western Hemisphere.
Okay, so I believe more of a spiritual than a lot of other people. So as far as from what I'm hearing from you, do you think that word is almost like the veil?
It's like Baal.
Stale, like the words. So you think like by using the word, it still keeps us in a certain mentality.
Absolutely, I do. I feel like it's disrespectful to our ancestors to use it for all that they endured physically, mentally, emotionally. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I was just talking to a person or something, talking to my wife.
Okay. And also, it goes to show our level of spiritual deadness, that we're almost in a state of, or I said almost, maybe we are in a state of triple stage darkness, deaf, dumb, and blind. The Stockholm syndrome is so real amongst us. Because, and then I talked to you about, I think it's what is the book of Isaiah that talks about the valley of dry bones. When the angel was asking Isaiah, showing him this vision, what does he show him? He shows him all of these skeletons down in this valley. And Isaiah says to Isaiah's like, well, who is this? Or what is this? What's going on? And he says, this is the whole house of Israel. And so then if you look at this word nigger and you think about that happened with him, you can see the correlation on a spiritual level. So why do we want to continue to act dead or use a word that denotes us as being dead?
I agree with that. Now I studied the word nigga too. I can agree with a lot of stuff you say. And them too, they actually use that definition of using black. So I just tell people, get through all this stuff, you got to get rid of black too, because put that in the definition with the thing of the words.
And that's fine, and you and I, we had that conversation before, and I don't have a problem with that, because black and white are social constructs that didn't exist until slavery in America. Because nobody else calls themselves by color. Nobody in the world does that. A Chinese person don't say, I'm yellow, it don't matter if you yellow. No, they said, I'm Chinese. Even in Europe, they don't say white. In Europe, they say, I'm English, or I am Irish, right? Or I'm Scottish. They don't use color.
Well, actually, a lot of people in America though, like I don't see a lot of white people, they know what they are. A lot of white people don't say I'm white. A lot of white people only say because that's how we know of them. I don't see him talk to white people that be like, yeah, I can, such and such. You know what I mean? We are the real deep people that use everything as a color. And I think that is just as bad as a nigga because to me, it's the same, they use them in the same derogatory way for it. And I just think all that need to go, and we need to go back to, you said, more of national. Knowing who we are.
Right, right. Yeah, I totally agree.
So what do you think about the people in the, like Richard Pryor, that was pushing the word nigger to say that it was an empowerment? Do you think that they mistakenly did that, not really knowing, or do you think that they could have been a part of them in pushing that agenda?
Well, I think in the terms, as far as Richard Pryor goes, Richard Pryor was very enslaved mentally person to me when I listened to Rich. Outside of his stand-up, just how he grew up, you know, his mother was a prostitute. I think his father was a pastor, and his grandmother was the madam of the whorehouse, right? And he actually grew up not too far from me, outside of Chicago in Peoria, Illinois. So when he viewed himself as a nigga. And see, that's the whole thing about it. Even if you don't know, it started from necro, which means dead, all of this like high academic stuff. You do know what that word represents here in America. You know the connotation of that word.